I wish to recognize, to take the podium, our key collaborator for this forum. They are in charge of global governance, and indeed our friends at the UNDP stepped up to the podium and decided to support us. The resident coordinator, Mr. Frederick Appiah, UNDP resident representative. Please, the podium is yours.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ayukela. Your Excellency the President, Retired Brigadier Julius Madabio, Your Excellency First Lady, Dr. Fatima Bio, Honorable Vice President, Dr. Mohamed Jula Jallo, Chairman of the Presidential Initiative for Climate Change, Renewable Energy and Food Security, my good brother, Honorable Members of Parliament, Honorable Members of Government, Ministers of States and Deputy Minister here and present, members of the Diplomatic and Consular Corps, invited guests, members of the Fourth Estate, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, all protocols to be observed. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
It's both an honor and privilege to be here at the second high-level National Dialogue on Climate Resilience and Energy Transition, CREC 2024. As we convene to address the pressing challenges posed by climate change. We recognize the necessity of our collective efforts to identify innovative solutions that enhance resilience and ensure a sustainable future for all. 1 year ago, October 2023, friends, developing partners, and Sierra Leoneans gathered for the inaugural CREC meeting. And UNDP was privileged to be associated with this dialogue from onset. With a proactive step by the Presidential Initiative on Climate Change, Renewable Energy and Food Security, PCREF. Today, we are here guided for the second edition of this very important dialogue. And as we look forward to the updates from key speakers over the next 2 days with His Excellency, I'm encouraged by the preliminary briefings from my team, including significant progress. Notable amongst them include the Just Energy Transition Partnership, JETP, the Green Growth Investment Plan, GGIP, the Clean Cooking Strategy and Action Plan, and the establishment of a Climate Finance Unit and Energy Innovation Hubs. Congratulations to the team. This second national dialogue inevitably stimulates pertinent issues for our collective reflection as partners in development, including the private sector and CSOs, to mention but a few. These include green industrialization for climate mitigation and adaptation, energy transition assets and critical minerals, climate resilient food systems, and energy transition and gender empowerment. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, the transition to a green economy cannot be merely an aspiration. It is an urgent necessity. And UNDP is committed to supporting Sierra Leone on this journey towards green industrialization, which we all know will create sustainable jobs, reduce carbon emissions, and enhance adaptive capacities. By promoting green technologies and sustainable practices, we can support our small and medium processing enterprises and industries, mitigate their environmental impact, and adapt to the realities of changing climate, whilst building a resilient industrial base that thrives in harmony with our ecosystem. As sustainable energy is fundamental right that must be realized by all, the UN system and UNDP advocates for an equitable energy transition that prioritizes the needs of the most vulnerable, including women, the elderly, children, and people with disabilities. We also recognize the critical role of minerals and renewable energy technologies in this transition. By fostering responsible mining practices and ensuring local communities benefit, we can pave the way for inclusive and equitable energy access for all. Food security is intricately linked to climate resilience, and we are committed to working hand in glove with the government of Sierra Leone to promote climate resilient food systems that not only address the climate change but also enhance agricultural productivity and sustainability. Through laudable initiatives such as the Feed Salon, we look forward to partner with other UN agencies and partners to support innovative agricultural practices, strengthen agri-value chains, and empower smallholder farmers, ensuring our food systems are robust and capable of withstanding climate shocks. The energy transition also presents a unique opportunity to empower women and promote gender equality. We recognize that women are key agents of change in climate resilience and energy access. By integrating gender perspectives into our energy initiatives, we ultimately will ensure that women have equal opportunities to participate in and benefit from the transition to sustainable energy. 4, empowering women strengthens communities, drives innovation, and enhances the effectiveness of our climate actions. Your Excellency, Sir, UNDP assures the government and the people of Sierra Leone of our continued facilitation role in climate resilience and energy transition, and that is why we're a key partner to this particular dialogue. We are committed to mobilizing climate finance at both national and international levels, collaborating closely with the Climate Finance Unit. Additionally, we will engage with you to accelerate efforts in integrating climate adaptation and mitigation measures in national development strategies. To highlight a few of our initiatives in partnerships with the Ministry of Environment and particularly Environment Protection Agency, UNDP's Accelerator Lab has established a Youth Innovation Hub to accelerate grassroots youth-led solutions to climate change. We have also supported the establishment of weather stations across the country in collaboration with the Sierra Leone Meteorological Agency, and have empowered communities and women-led groups to develop sustainable practices such as clean cooking stoves. Through our Global Environment Facility, Small Grants Program and Growth Accelerator, we continue to provide funding for local initiatives focused on climate change adaptation and mitigation. Our strategic partnerships with international financial institutions will further enhance our commitment to engage with key thematic areas to be discussed today and tomorrow. In conclusion, Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, at the UNDP, we believe our role is to catalyze meaningful change and foster partnerships that drive progress in climate resilience and energy transition. The theme of today's dialogue are interconnected and vital for our future, and we are committed to working alongside government, civil society, and the private sector to turn our shared vision into reality. Together, we can forge a path towards a resilient, sustainable, and equitable future for all. Thank you very much for your attention. Have a blessed day. Thank you.
Thank you for that statement. Mr. Speaker, Mr. President, you met with the Vice President for the Global Energy Alliance for People and Planet in New York. He promised to be here, and he's here. It is my privilege to invite Mr. Joseph Nganga, Vice President GIA, to take the floor.
The President, Your Excellency, the First Lady, and Your Excellency, the Vice President, everybody, good morning. All protocols observed. Thank you very much for having me here. I did indeed sit with His Excellency in New York, and we talked about this event, and I'm very happy to have followed on my promise to be here. For those who don't know, the Global Energy Alliance for People and Planet exists to support countries to drive electrification, do so with clean energy so that there's a resilient future, and make sure that that electrification is creating jobs to support economic development in the global south. In Sierra Leone, we've supported everything from getting IPPs to generate electricity, to working with rural women to support them use solar appliances to improve the economics of the work they do through productive use of power. And as Dr. Yumkela mentioned, we've also supported EDSA in figuring out what they need to do to perform better in partnership with the World Bank. But we want to do more. And the reason we want to do more is because, one, it's needed. And two, with Your Excellency's leadership, we as a part of the development community feel that we have an aligned partner towards our collective outcome, and therefore feel very energized to be supporting the agenda for climate and energy in Sierra Leone. But I also want to touch on my role as the inaugural CEO of the African Climate Summit, which was held last year in September in Nairobi. And then in quick succession, Your Excellency and your team organized your first dialogue here in Sierra Leone, and you said you would do a few things. And I have to say I've been very impressed by the fact that you stated what you would do, and you've gone ahead and done it. Again, that gives us as the international community. See, the whole crowd agrees with me. Well done. That gives us as the international community the platform on which to keep pushing the agenda. At the summit, we agreed that Africa has solutions. And indeed, one of those countries with an enormous amount of those solutions is Sierra Leone. Everything from minerals to hydropower to forestry, the resources are here. What they need is the right kind of climate finance, and I'm delighted to hear that there is a plan to have a climate finance unit at the Ministry of Finance. Will help harness global resources to develop Sierra Leone, not just for Sierra Leoneans, not just for the continent, but for global impact. And we at the Global Energy Alliance for People and Planet stand behind that agenda and in support of Sierra Leone and the people of Sierra Leone. I'm also very excited to mention, and I'm sure the World Bank will be speaking more to this, and it's already been said that there will be a launch event next month of the DARES program, that under the continent's push towards renewable energy, we are supporting Mission 300, an effort to electrify over 300 million Africans with clean energy, and again do so while driving economic development. That is a critical piece of enabling our development as a continent, and by partnering together, working together, not just as the World Bank and African Development Bank, but the rest of us as the development community, we stand a much better chance of achieving our objectives. Your Excellency, again, your leadership is helping us come together, and I hope that through this dialogue and other events, the resources each of us have will go a lot further, because you're bringing us together and encouraging collaboration as opposed to each of us pursuing our agenda. And so I stand in support of the country's ambition, your leadership, and we will continue as GIAP to pursue all the opportunities we can to help Sierra Leone achieve your objectives, and in the process support the world on climate and energy. Thank you.
It is now my distinct honor, Your Excellency, to invite the Senior Investment Director for Africa 50, Mr. Anas Sharafi.
Mr. President, Your Excellency, Mr. Vice President, Honorable Ministers, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed. Good morning to you. Let me first say that we are very pleased to be part of this important gathering here in Freetown. This is a very important event that is going to pave the way for the transformation of the energy sector, and by way of consequence of the entire economy, in line with the vision of His Excellency, the President. As Africa 50, we are an infrastructure investment platform that is very specifically dedicated to helping or contributing to filling the investment gap in infrastructure in Africa. Our founding shareholders, the African governments, of which we have 30 today, including the Republic of Sierra Leone, the African Development Bank as well, gave us the mandate to support the development of infrastructure by way of contribution of the private sector. Sierra Leone being a founding shareholder of Africa 50, we are, of course, it's our duty to stand here today to support the vision of the country. What we do is that we develop projects we invest in the early stage, the risky stage of projects to make them investable. Then we invest in projects once they are ready for construction. And we mobilize capital globally for infrastructure on the continent. With the funds that were provided to us by our founding shareholders, we have, over the past 7 years, invested in 22 projects, all large-scale infrastructure, including many in the energy sector, across 7 countries, ranging from thermal power to renewable power to power transmission, and ranging from 100 to 450 megawatts. In addition to this, we have started mobilizing significant capital for African infrastructure. Last year, at Africa 50, we achieved first close for the Africa Infrastructure Acceleration Fund. This is a private equity fund that mobilized capital from institutional investors with a first closing of $225 million. But importantly, the very important thing is that most of this capital was raised from African institutional investors. This was the very first time that African institutional investors put their money where their mouth was and were the first to show that they supported infrastructure on the continent. And on the back of this, now we are talking to global investors across the world to join the effort. Another important, very important initiative is the Alliance for Green Infrastructure in Africa. This is going to be a game changer in project development. As I mentioned, committing capital and resources to the early stages of projects before they are ready for investment is a very risky endeavor, and capital is lacking in this area. With AGIA, jointly with the African Development Bank, we intend to effect a step change in terms of capital allocated to this early stage. AGIA is targeting $500 million specifically for supporting project development. And it is very close to becoming a reality. We are now working on making it operational by early next year. And this is also something that could benefit Sierra Leone. Now, Sierra Leone has a very vast and established potential for energy, particularly renewable energy. I think we all know this by now. Hydro, solar. The needs are very substantial, whether to supply households or industry. It is actually estimated that over more than $3 billion in investment will be required over the next couple of years to achieve the vision of the country. This is a very substantial amount of investment, and with government resources being constrained, we think the private sector will play a very big role in contributing to this investment. We are always excited to work with governments that have a vision and that are supportive, very supportive of private sector involvement. I think the government of Sierra Leone is showing us that it is very serious about mobilizing private capital to develop the energy sector. And so naturally, we stand here to state our full support and our commitment to work hand in hand with the government to achieve results quickly. And I emphasize this last bit, it's all about achieving results. As long as we don't have projects on the ground being constructed, becoming operational, we have not achieved anything. So our commitment is to work towards practical results in the sector. Thank you very much.
He's the Regional Director for West and Central Africa from the International Fund for Agricultural Development, to give us his goodwill message.
Thank you very much. Mr. President, Your Excellency Mr. President, Your Excellency the First Lady, Your Excellency Mr. Vice President, distinguished ministers and participants, ladies and gentlemen. It's a privilege to be here at CREP 2024 to represent the President of IFAD, the International Fund for Agricultural Development. Thank you for inviting IFAD to be part of this very important dialogue. On his behalf, I would like to commend His Excellency President Guillaume for prioritizing agriculture and rural development as bedrock of the new National Development Plan and the Feed Salon Initiative. No country has been able to sustain a transition out of poverty without raising agricultural productivity. Singapore is the only exception we know. We assess that, in fact, that in sub-Saharan Africa, the agricultural sector is 11 times more effective at reducing poverty more than any other sector. Excellency, Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen, IFAD has been on the front lines of the fight against rural poverty and hunger for more than 4 decades. The cornerstone of our mission has always been to invest in rural people, in small farmers, small entrepreneurs, in the poorest rural communities in order to create opportunities, strengthen food security, build resilience, and also develop livelihoods. About 570 million people in sub-Saharan Africa live without electricity, accounting for more than 80% of the global population. Most of them live in rural areas. The access is only around 20% in the region. Just like everyone, small-scale farmers need energy services to survive, from cooking their food, lighting their homes, processing and storing their produce, charging their Android phone to TikTok or Facebook, just like any of you here. The lack of energy services makes agriculture less productive and increases post-harvest losses, preventing the effective processing and storage of crops. This reduces farmers' incomes and keeps us in the vicious circle of food insecurity. Moreover, many farmers have no alternative than relying on burning biomass such as wood, charcoal, agricultural waste to meet energy needs, contributing to environmental degradation and climate change. Where they do access to electricity, they are often limited to non-renewable sources such as diesel generators. As the only international financial institution solely focused on rural areas, IFAD is increasingly integrating renewable energy technologies into its operations to increase farmers' access to them and also improve production, processing, and post-harvest handling while supporting the decarbonization of food systems. In Mali, we have pioneered a combination of biodigesters and improved stoves in 5,000 rural households to convert methane from livestock into biogas and alleviate the burden on women. This has prevented the cutting of 2,000 tons of wood, preserved over 100 hectares of forest, and reduced carbon emission by 10,000 tons of CO2 equivalent. It's a win-win situation for both the people and the planet. In Nigeria, we have supported cassava processing centers to use organic waste to produce biofuel. This in turn powers the fryers used to produce cassava flour for export market. In Rwanda, Kenya, Ghana, Burkina, Niger, and here in Sierra Leone and many other countries, solar-powered irrigation systems promoted by IFAD-supported projects have brought prosperity to cooperatives, cutting down the operating cost of fuel-powered irrigation systems. Under a regional initiative, we have designed effective incentives, and de-risk investment through innovative finance mechanisms. This attracted the private sector to support renewable energy technologies for small farmers. Investing in renewable energy can also make agriculture attractive, particularly to the youth, because after all, it's a business. Before my current role, I was leading IFAD operations from Istanbul in Turkey, in Eastern Europe and Central Asia. And at some point, we decided to look at our country portfolio and see what was going on and all the irrigation scheme we had, how we could really bring into them a program, a matching grant program with solar power, solar energy. The system we tried to promote included electric fence for protecting the farms, portable solar panel and fridges for pastoralists. When they go up to the mountains, they need these fridges to actually keep their milk or their cheese. We also promoted mobile shelters and solar irrigation system for cooperatives to replace polluting fossil fuels on irrigated schemes. This investment, the panels on the land we developed for irrigation, that was a strategic investment. Because we went beyond the need of the schemes to actually set up the panel park, the solar park, to be able to generate more energy than needed, and the surplus, this not utilized power was actually put into the national grid and sold by the cooperative to the national electricity company. When we came back, 6 months after, we realized there was a surge in membership in the cooperative. There was a kind of what we call a reverse migration. The youth who have left the village to go to the city to look for opportunities, they were coming back to seize the opportunities that was created just because of the connecting the transformative power of energy. When we asked them why they were coming back, they were saying farming was not working for us because the cost of fuel was too high. Now we came back because there is free energy for all provided by the sun, and thank you for bringing us back to our villages. This is what they told us. Likewise, another example under the same project, there was this cooperative that borrowed $2 million to construct a huge storage coal warehouse. $2 million. With the objective to actually collect all the fruit in the district and export them to Moldova, Georgia, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, and so on. Then they could not operate because the cost of electricity was just too high. The warehouse had the size of a football pitch. We stepped in with the matching grant program, supporting them, transforming the entire rooftop to a solar park. And after doing this, again, the same reverse migration from the cities to the village, and we saw how the number of orchards, of vineyards, started suddenly going up in the district, contributing to local development. So the learning here is that true resilience requires making energy available, affordable, and sustainable for all. Excellency, Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen, my key message here is simple. In order for agriculture to be competitive, resilient, and sustainable, it needs to be underpinned by energy reliability. Investing in a comprehensive and reliable energy supply is essential to power the agri-food system, generate employment in value chains, ensure food security, and enhance the decent living conditions of rural communities. In fact, we view the Feed Salon initiative and this dialogue we are having today as an exciting opportunity to scale up engagement for sustainable growth in Sierra Leone. I stand here to reiterate our commitment to leverage learning made at the regional and global level in rural infrastructure, renewable energy technology, and innovation to support the food energy nexus in Sierra Leone. On Wednesday, the Deputy Minister 1 of Finance recalled it. I will be signing with Minister Bambura of Finance and Minister Musa of Agriculture $105 million for a new livestock who will start the transformation of the livestock sector of Sierra Leone, and I would like to ensure the presidential initiative that this will be done with a responsible approach to greenhouse gas emission. In line with the new IFA 13 cycle that is starting next January, we will continue to discuss with government to see how to make use of the country's allocation to invest in renewable energy and support your agenda of transforming agricultural practices to accelerate economic growth. IFA's commitment is to work alongside the government to make hunger a thing of the past and to achieve food security for all women and all men. Today, as I'm here to reiterate that we stand with the government of Sierra Leone and with all the development partners in Sierra Leone to ensure that no one is left behind. It's the simple obligation at the heart of the 2030 agenda. Excellency, Mr. President, you have the vision. Let's now deliver. Let's deliver bold action and let's deliver at scale. Thank you very much. Beaucoup thanke and big congrats, Dr. Yunkela, for this well-organized event.
It is my pleasure to invite our good friend, Shokut Abdulrazak of the International Energy Agency.
Thank you very much, Moderator. Your Excellency, the President, Excellency, the First Lady, Excellency, the Vice President, Ministers, Members of Parliament, all protocol observed. I bring you greetings, Your Excellency, from your friend, the Director General of the IAEA, Rafael Mariano Grossi. Really wanted to be with you here, but because of other engagements, he couldn't. So kindly please accept his apologies. He has requested me to represent him in this very important dialogue. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, if you did not know, then I need to tell you that the International Atomic Energy Agency promotes atoms for peace and development. And at the moment, we work in 50 countries in Africa in helping the needs and the priorities of the countries in Africa using nuclear science and technology for social economic development. The nuclear science technology contributes to various social economic development thematic areas, including health and nutrition, food and agriculture, energy sector. We also build capacity and capability and also we look at the areas of energy planning and energy production as well. We assist our member states in building capacity towards sustainability because we believe we have to have a critical mass in the country so that they can be able to drive this agenda. Through the Technical Cooperation Program, Your Excellency, just to give you an example, we're able to work with your scientists in this country and be able to produce rice varieties that are resistant to drought. We're also able to boost production of cassava. And in some countries, through climate smart agriculture practices, we're able to boost cassava production from 7 to 70 tons per hectare. This is the beauty of this technology using mutation breeding. And for your information, that food is very safe to consume as well. Your Excellency, we also look at the areas of food safety. It is not just to produce, but to make sure whatever is being produced also go in terms of quality to the table. So if you like, from farm to fork. So we look at the entire food value chain and be able to enhance food safety, manage food post-harvest losses, for example. And Your Excellency, as we go into the future, I see potential of having this technology in Sierra Leone, for example, with X-rays and E-beam, so that we can manage diseases, pests, mycotoxins, aflatoxins using this technology and be able to minimize post-harvest losses. Your Excellency, several African countries now also have decided they would like to embark on nuclear power program for obvious reasons. As you've had 600 million people in Africa, Your Excellency, have no access to electricity. And I know it's also a major challenge here. And when a country decides, the IAEA has got the necessary tools to work with you to ensure the technology is used in a safe, secure, and peaceful purposes as well. Your Excellency, as we go into the future, there are huge development and small modular reactors. Now, these small modular reactors are very portable in terms of production. We can do up to 300 megawatts. I'm looking at the water that you've got here. With a small modular reactor, you can be able, A, to produce electricity, B, Your Excellency, we can also be able to desalinate water so that it can be used for households at the same time for agriculture as well. And all this is being done under the initiative of Atoms for Net Zero. While the one for food and agriculture, we're using it under the initiative of Atoms for Food, of which Sierra Leone has expressed interest, Your Excellency, and I will be discussing with the Minister of Agriculture of how we can be able to continue helping you in producing the necessary varieties of crops here that have got, there's a resilience, in terms of drought, and also where we have cases of salinity, how we can be able to manage that. But above all, how can we be able to upscale this production as well, Your Excellency? It is very important that building climate resilient is a multifaceted approach that requires partnership and collaboration, Your Excellency. Looking at all these discussions here, I think you are in the right trajectory, and we would like to congratulate you, Your Excellency, for all this very important initiative. Before I conclude, Your Excellency, as you are looking at various sources of energy, we would like to let you know that we also have the necessary tools at the IEA on energy planning, looking of all sorts of energies. It could be hydro, it could be renewables, what we call the demand and supply, and the financial projection of energy supply as well using these tools, and we can be able to help you, Your Excellency. As I conclude, Your Excellency, once again, as my good friend and a brother Yukela had just said, we are working very closely with you to set up your first radiotherapy center in this country, Your Excellency. I must say this, Your Excellency, I know the First Lady has been very passionate about it. Every meeting I go, she keeps on telling me, Shaukat, you have to help so that we have this nuclear medicine and radiotherapy center. We are almost there, Your Excellency, in terms of initiating this project. Your Excellency, all these good things require vision. All these good things require a visionary leader. And I want to take this opportunity to congratulate you and the entire team for demonstrating that vision and leadership. And I would like to assure you of our continued support at the IAEA. And lastly, many thanks to my good friend and a brother Yukela for an excellent job that he is doing here, Your Excellency. Thank you all for your attention, and please accept the greetings from the Director General. Thank you, Your Excellency.
It is my pleasure now to invite Diplomat Stefano Maguchi, Deputy Executive Officer, Chief Executive Officer of Sustainable Energy Forum.
Your Excellency President Julius Maada Bio, Madam First Lady, Your Excellency Vice President, Ministers of Government, Chief Minister, all protocols observed. I'm honored to speak here today on behalf of our Chief Executive Officer and United Nations Special Representative of the Secretary General, Damilola Odumbi. She sends her warmest regards as we gather here to celebrate our progress, set new goals, and renew our commitment to excellence at the second annual Climate Resilience and Just Inclusive Energy Transition Dialogue. The Sierra Leone energy transition is not the task for one organization, not for one government or one industry alone. It's a collective effort. By joining forces and aligning our goals, we can harness the power of technology, collaboration, and policy to achieve cleaner energy solutions. Today at this dialogue, we aim to inspire, connect, and join forces in mobilizing the resources and partnership needed to create impact. Your Excellency, Sustainable Energy for All is here to support. We have already started to work together, but we want to do more. We like to see action on the ground. To help improve power reliability and healthcare services in close partnership with the Ministry of Health, SC4All has been implementing the Sierra Leone Healthcare Electrification Project with funding from the UK government. 6 key hospitals have been electrified with solar energy, and this project was commissioned in December 2023, with a further 12 more hospitals and 25 community health centers to be commissioned by March 2025. The benefits of these projects are already evident. The use of backup diesel generators has decreased. Electricity supply is more reliable, with both medical staff and patients that are expressing their satisfaction with the project. Moreover, at C4All we have a STEM traineeship program that aims to prepare young women for careers in the sustainable energy sector. The traineeship provides activity-based technical and soft skills training and features practical application of the skills in the context of Sierra Leone energy transition. To date, in Sierra Leone, the program has supported 23 women in STEM and energy fields across 2 cohorts, 2023 and 2024. Our trainees have actively participated in installing rooftop solar systems for healthcare facilities, ensuring reliable electricity supply. We had the graduation ceremony last week. It was a very enriching moment for me, and I mean, I must say the sky is the limit to the contribution of the Sierra Leone's women to the energy transition. I look here at the First Lady and all the ladies in the hallway today. I mean, I think women can be the first beneficiaries of the transition, but I wish they are also the main actors. Finally, we manage a multi-donor result-based financial facility, the Universal Energy Facility, that provides financing to scale up mini-grid investments and also undertakes technical assistance to improve the enabling environment to unlock private investment. In 2023, we awarded Power Leon, NFCT Ltd, 7 mini-grids projects with 1,193 electricity connections, with welfare benefits of over 10,000 people, including homes, businesses, and public institutions. So far, 2 out of 7 sites have been commissioned, and a third due in December 2024. These projects are already benefiting over 400 homes, businesses, and public institutions. And at an outcome of SE for All technical assistance and advocacy, on the 2nd of August, the Ministry of Energy and mini-grids operators signed an MOU that lays out the specific action for government to enable the growth and investment in the centralized renewable energy sector, including an approach for mini-grid tariff setting, fiscal incentive, expedited custom clearance procedures, and reduction of transaction costs for DRE projects. Esteemed guests and friends, today we mark the beginning of something extraordinary. Throughout the request of His Excellency the President, we have developed the Sierra Leone Energy Transition and Green Growth Plan, which takes a lot of economy approach across key sectors like power, transport, industry, buildings, appliances, and agriculture. The plan analyzes multiple scenarios. You will have the chance to listen to the presentation later today to assess the overall least cost pathway for different energy supply options to meet the country's future energy demand while aligning with the nationally determined contribution targets under the Paris Agreement. I would like to point out that this energy transition and green growth plan will require significant investment and development. I will give you a few examples. By 2040, achieving 100% electrification will necessitate 440 megawatts of mini-grids and grid reinforcement. By 2050, approximately 4.5 gigawatt of hydropower and solar-based grid capacity, along with 2.5 gigawatt of transmission and distribution will be needed to meet the country's energy demand. Realizing this vision will require an estimate of $39 billion in capital investment across various sectors by 2050. The low carbon development scenario in particular demands 55% more investment compared to the business as usual baseline. So we have to do double as much. To ensure the successful implementation of this green growth plan, I would like to call on all the development partners that are present today to rally behind the government and provide financial and technical support. As I said in the beginning, energy transition is a collective effort. And to conclude, I would like to thank the government of Sierra Leone under the stewardship of His Excellency the President for its continued partnership and unwavering commitment to providing sustainable and affordable and renewable and reliable energy to Sierra Leoneans. We will meet again in December. Our CEO will be here for the launch of the DARES initiative. SE for All is the engine behind the M300 action of World Bank and African Development Bank, and we are sure that Sierra Leone will be playing a key role in the implementation of this initiative. So thank you very much, and thank you, Kande, for organizing this. I will see you in December.